TV18 exclusive. The Indian government may have to consider greater engagement and flexibility with China. We learn from government sources that India cannot avoid working with China since it hosts 60% of global electronics manufacturing. Sources have also indicated that the industry is hopeful of some breakthrough in imports of rare earth magnets. The foreign minister took up the issue during his meeting with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. This comes days after both nations ended the 5-year tourist visa freeze on one another. Ashmit Kumar joins us now with more. Ashmit, India and China, are the ties slowly thawing between the two countries?
Well, electronics industry is something that, in fact, has long been crying that, look, it's not just the auto space that's getting affected. Electronics players are also getting impacted due to these Chinese restrictions. Now, we raised these questions within the government, and what government officials are telling us is that given the size and scale of the electronics industry in China, there has to be some engagement, there has to be flexibility in terms of engaging with Chinese entities, with Chinese players. In fact, government officials tell us is that overall, more than 60% globally of electronics manufacturing sits out of China, sits out of Beijing, and therefore engagement with Beijing cannot be avoided. Now, these statements coming out from government officials come on the back of three very interesting triggers. Well, number one, let's bear in mind that only as early as last night, we saw Dixon announcing that they have managed to get the government's blessings and the government's approval for a JV with a Chinese entity called Longcheer. So we're already seeing this engagement translate into action. Dixon already getting an approval from the government, from MeitY. Number two, bear in mind that only recently we've seen travel by the Indian foreign minister to China, and it is on the back of that we began to see relaxations like we did in the form of visas being allowed to Chinese tourists. So there is already some amount of thawing of ties, perhaps some amount of engagement that we're already beginning to see. And let's also not forget that at this time, with the industry reeling under the impact of restrictions from China, there is already solutions being worked out. MeitY is already in conversations with the Ministry of Electronics, with the Ministry of External Affairs. They're discussing how, in aspects such as rare earth, perhaps entire components can be imported to beat the impact of rare earth restrictions.
All right. Thank you, Ashmit, for that. Shifting focus to